All right. If you guys don't mind, I actually just put it all up in like a PowerPoint because it's just easier for me. And I happen to be leading the same PowerPoint tomorrow. So which is one of the reasons I'm doing it. Another reason I'm doing it is because it's funny. I don't mind public speaking, but I'm used to my own team, not other people, that are not on my team. So I figured, well, I might as well get used to it because I have to do it tomorrow. Tomorrow we're having the 4 vital behaviors training with Kim Carver. Our market council is hosting it. I'm on the market council and I'm presenting this, though I really need to work on my time because I tend to go overtime. So I'm gonna practice today. But it's on prospecting / expanding your market. So a lot of people think that, and you're probably thinking, or maybe you're not, but I was actually shocked to know how many 3, 4, and 5-star diamonds are still in the warm market. Like, I'm like, how did you do that? I got out of the warm market way a long time ago. So it may be beneficial to you, it may not, or it may be beneficial to you to share with your team. I don't know. I'm going to share it anyway because it's something that we have been training on our team. So I have it on a PowerPoint already. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen and do go through it that way. It might be also easy for you to like see it that way. So I'll share my screen here quick and we'll go through it and hopefully you can see it. Do you guys see it? Yes? Okay, cool. All right, so let me play the recording. Okay, so pretty much how to prospect, expand your market. I have to tweak some of the slides still for tomorrow, but anyway. So obviously, probably majority of us use social media, public, meaning local to you, and the phone, okay? Who are you? So some of the things that when you're expanding your market, when you're trying to get out of your comfort zone and out of your warm market, and I'm sure you guys know what warm and cold market is. Warm market is, the people that you know. Cold market is the people you have never met in your life. So what is your brand? Who do you want to attract and what are your interests? So I know we've touched on it a few times on some other mastermind calls, but like, what is your brand? Are you branding yourself? Are you not branding yourself? Who do you want to attract? I mean, I struggled with this when I first started. I just signed up every person that, I saw and talked to and, oh, yeah. And I quickly found out that I don't want some of these people on my team. We don't jive. They're not who I represent. They're not who I want. And they quickly quit, which is perfectly fine now. I don't care. Back then I was like, oh my God, they quit. But you want to know, you really want to know who and what do you want to attract? And then what are their interests? What are your interests? Because chances are you want to attract people with the same type of interests. So how do you expand your market? How do you find prospects? The first one is social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest, you name it, you can find it. I always say pick 1 to 2 forms of social media and become a pro at that. A lot of people are like doing 5 different social medias all at the same time and they're like all over the place. Now, I mean, if you've hired somebody to do your social media, I guess you can do that. For me, I stick right now, I'm trying to master Facebook and then going into Instagram as well. I'm not touching anything else right now. It's overwhelming for me. But I do have my own website too that is tied to our Team Beachbody website. And it has gotten some traction. I've actually gotten some people off that, shockingly enough. However, like I said, most of my people come from Facebook. And then I touched on my warm market a while back. So like I said, the hot market is like, if you go back in the back office and use your memory jogger, that's everybody you know. That's like everybody you can name like that. Probably you all have gone through them already, or maybe not. I'm not sure. Warm market, is the people you know, but maybe they were like in high school and haven't really talked to them in a while. And then the cold market is just people you have never met in your life. You don't know where they live. You've never met them and you come across them on Facebook on your like page by friending people that are friends of your friends. So that's the social media aspect. The public is, like I said, your work, your kids' schools, or if you work in a school, gyms, if you still work out in the gym, kids' sports. Right now, I'm actually talking to 2 people that both of them are moms of kids that are on my son's baseball team. And like, if you just, if you work, like say you go to Starbucks, you want to hang out there and you kind of, or restaurants, whatever, wherever you kind of hang out, Target, malls, whatever, that would be the public. And then again, back to your social media, hot market would be people that you could totally talk to and say like, hey, if they're interested in health and fitness and you ask for their support, like say your mom and dad or your sister, brother, I always tend to not use them a whole lot because I have partial supportive family and partial not supportive family. And I always say family is the last to party. So as far as expanding your market, you really don't want to expand too much on that. I mean, that's good for coaches that need to first start. But right now, I personally, if they come to me, that's cool, but I'm not really asking for their support because they're not really that supportive and they tend to quit easily for me. Warm market is people, like I said, you've met, maybe people at your kids' games or, your husband's coworker's wife, maybe. So you want to build more rapport with them to expand that, and then maybe their friends, you might meet their friends through a dinner party or a barbecue or whatever in the summer. And you just continue to build rapport with them and expand it that way. And then you have the cold market. So usually you find those on your fitness, like your like page, or like I said, going through the friends of friends on your Facebook. You start to get to know them and you start to see the things, you friend them and you start to see their posts and you connect with them that way, find things that they're in need of, establish that relationship. They don't know you, and believe it or not, those are actually the best people. Some of my best coaches are all cold market coaches. They're not the people I know. So for me, it's been super easy because they don't know you. They really didn't grow up with you. They don't know your past. So for me, it's easier to relate to them and for them to relate to me because you're almost like starting a blank slate. So if you believe in yourself and you own it, it portrays to them. And like I said, it's like starting a blank slate. So with Facebook, we've probably heard this before. I know we've heard it before, but or Instagram or Twitter or Pinterest, whatever you're using, you gotta be consistent with your posting. You gotta be consistent with sharing, being a product of the product. You gotta be motivational in the sense of, not negative. You don't want to be negative. Be creative and own your brand. So you have to be consistent with that because what happens is that I've had a lot of people, again, cold market people on my personal Facebook that I've become friends with that have shared my personal Facebook's posts with their people. So then those people start liking it and then they might start following me, which again starts putting my name out into anywhere in the US, Canada, wherever these posts are going. So make sure you're doing that because if people are sharing your positivity or your motivation, your inspiration, it gets out there more to more people you don't know. As far as posting, again, back to owning your brand, be you, find your own style and own it. There is a short branding quiz I took. I can find it for you guys if you want. It's super short. And it was a whirlwind of wow when I got the results. Because I was like, wow, that is me. That is my brand. And I didn't realize, like I knew it, but I didn't realize it. It even tells you like the colors that you should use in your pictures and posting, like the colors that you jive with, fonts for your pictures, the kind of pictures you should be posting that are more relatable to your brand, your personality, what you like. And it goes along with all of this, like being passionate, being true and honest, because it really took all this information and gave you this little like results thing. It was really cool. Negativity. We all have bad days and you can be honest about that. But if you're on, and I doubt anybody here is doing that, but if you're on Facebook or, hopefully your coaches aren't like, cussing up and down and just being like, life sucks and this and that and the other. I mean, you're just constantly negative. Yeah, I'm not really thinking anyone's going to be attracted to that. So humor is good. We all know one coach that makes us laugh, and that's Caleb. He's good about the humor part, but being funny, and doesn't mean you have to be a jokester, but being funny sometimes helps expand the market because people laugh and it makes them happy. And again, just being consistent 3 to 5 times a day at least. And then people start looking for your stuff. And then when you disappear, they're like, well, where'd she go? What's going on with her? You know, and they really do start looking for your stuff. I've had people that, it's funny, I've had people that don't like my posts, but they obviously are reading them because they message me and they're like, you know, you're so motivational, inspirational. I read your posts every day. And I'm always like, gosh, didn't like my posts, but they obviously are reading them and it's helping them. So, you know, being consistent is obviously good because you're expanding your market in the sense that, you know, they might not be doing anything now. They might not be ready to join a challenge group or be a coach or anything like that, but they're watching. And I've actually had people that I've invited later to the opportunity and they're like, you know, I've been reading your stuff about that and I just didn't know. And sometimes they just read and they don't reach out to you. And it's not until you reach out to them that they're like, yeah, I've been wanting to ask you, but I didn't know. And my friend, I told my friend about that and it just starts spindling off. How do you connect with people? Again, repetitive. It's just you have your hot, your warm, and your cold. You really have to get out into your cold if you haven't. I don't know if you guys have. Like I said, I had somebody on my bigger team that she was a 5-star diamond and she really had not gotten into her cold market yet. I don't know how, but she didn't. So she knows a lot of people, or the people she got are really good workers because I got into my cold market within my first 6 months of coaching. So, you know, you can also, I'm sure you guys know there's like online yard sale groups on Facebook or like, find something that you love to do. Like if you love to run, there's running groups, if, moms groups, like if you're a new mom or something like that, or, if you're like a CrossFitter or like a Spartan racer, there's groups for that too. And you can just start, making friends and expanding that way. There's mommy's day out groups like local to you, you know, stuff like that you could do. Join a running club, or like if you do Spartan races or mud runs, stuff like that. You can get into those people. And I went ahead of myself. Like I said, where do you find your cold market? You know, maybe you're into crocheting and sewing. Join a sewing group. If you're a dental hygienist or a nurse, they are actually medical groups. My husband is a part of the respiratory therapy group. That I don't know what they talk about. He always finds stuff in there. But if you're like a part, you know, like a running group, maybe you love pets. I'm sure there's pet groups too. So you can find them. Just search on Facebook and go look in your area and join them. And then you can look around, you know, around the United States and join them as well. You're obviously not going to go in there and be like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. Anybody want to sign up? Because we know that. But you start just kind of building rapport with those people. And then what happens is they start to friend you or you friend them. And then they start to see your stuff. Like I said, don't join a group and go on a friending spree. Like some of their posts and comment on their photos and then friend request them and then just send them a message. And again, you're not sending them a message saying like, hey, I'm a Beachbody coach. Just want to see if you want to join a challenge group. But you're just going to be like, oh, thanks for friending me. You know, I love how you are so into sewing. I don't know, whatever. Find something on their Facebook that you can comment and message them at first. Fitness page. If you have a like page, which most people do, if you have a tracking system, hopefully you do, keep track of who likes and comments on your posts. You'll start to see probably a trend of some of the same people always liking and commenting. Those people, you could always send them a friend request and thank them for following your page and being active on your page. Or have them send you a friend request if they're commenting a lot. Or like say you have some sort of group, like a call to action post, and they respond, you can always reply to them, say, hey, I can't send you a message from here, but if you send me a friend request at this page and then put your link, I can send you a message. Like that's what I always do because I don't want to be put in Facebook jail. So I always try to get them to friend me. So instead of answering their question on the reply, I'll say, awesome, I would love to send you a private message, but I can't do that from this fitness page. Facebook won't allow it. So send me a friend request I put my link and then they send me a friend request and then I just private message them from my personal Facebook or get their email. That's another way. New Facebook friends. Now what? Like I said, you've become friends with people, or you have found friends of friends of friends that you kind of have mutual friends, but you don't really know them. Start commenting on their stuff, their pictures. Keep track. Like I said, it's really good to have a tracking system when you're starting to expand your market, especially your cold market, because you don't know these people. Like I said, begin following their pages, interact with them more on Facebook, and then it'll gradually lead into, because they'll probably see your fitness stuff, your inspiration. They'll probably end up asking you, or you'll end up seeing something of theirs that you can like get into the health and fitness part of it. I had somebody last year who I friend requested from my fitness page. She actually responded to a challenge group post, but then she went MIA. But I started to notice a trend in her posts probably through 6 months, and I was commenting on them, but I didn't invite her anymore. And all of a sudden I sent her a message based on something I saw on her Facebook. And it was regarding the opportunity. It was regarding money, time. She hated her job. Sent her a friend request, or I sent her a message. She got on our opportunity webinar and she signed up. I did that from Cancun last year from our Success Lab trip. I was like furiously like messaging her from our room in Cancun last year, because it just happened to be that Thursday and we were having a opportunity webinar, and she signed up. I was on the webinar, but she got on the ones that coaches were leading it that were not in Cancun, and she signed up. So public prospecting, not one of my most strong things, because I can prospect and I can talk to people, even people I don't know, on the phone and over Zoom. But when I get to them in person, if I haven't already set an appointment about it, I get like all like nervous. So, you're just making eye contact and smiling. And this is if you're like really cold prospecting, like at Starbucks or I don't know, at the grocery store. Start a conversation, compliment, like, oh, hey, like, when you're in a grocery aisle, and I've had this happen all the time. People notice my food. They notice my food. They're like, oh, you seem like a really healthy eater. And then I talk to them again about something, and it comes up. I always carry my business cards because you just never know. Get their name and number, get their name and email. Talk about, oh, you have a Fitbit? What kind of Fitbit is that? I'm looking for a Fitbit, stuff like that. And you're interested in them. You're not interested in yourself. So you're looking around to find something you can, talk to them about, and something that's in common, ask questions, whatever. And like I said, get their name, number, maybe connect with them on Facebook. And I know it's really hard to visualize this, because you're like, why would I get all this information from somebody I'm talking to, like, let's say in the grocery store aisle? But you'd be amazed at some of the conversations I've had standing in the grocery store aisle or in Starbucks. You just be amazed. And so when I used to, if you're an instructor, like I was teaching Insanity at a gym. Oh my gosh, I was able. Now there, it was really easy to get their Facebook. I'm like, oh, hey, you're so into fitness. Hey, here's my Facebook page. And we get our phone out, and she'd like my Facebook fitness page. And then she ended up joining a challenge group along with doing the Insanity classes at the gym. So tools you can use when you're in person, like I said, business card. If you make a newsletter, you can send them out the email. You can maybe post them around in restaurants and places, flyers, brochures, your leads. That's easy way. And I know, and I'm sure they do not always respond. In fact, most of them do not respond. Or sometimes you get some hate email back, like, please do not message me ever again. But send emails with just information. If you have a newsletter, like send it to your Beachbody customers, your leads. Maybe a sizzle video of one of the promotional workout programs, like this month 21 Day Fix. Maybe send them a video of that. Talk about the sale. E-cards. Beachbody has the e-cards in the back. Like I said, use some of the marketing tools and information there, because even though technically they're your customers, and they might be buying stuff or on HG, but you haven't really talked to them yet. Whereas, the more and more they hear from you, again, some may not like it and they might tell you to stop, but then some others might eventually coach 2 years later. I know my upline Barbie Kalev, Siggy's wife Barbie, her coach Josh Spencer, if you guys have heard of him, he was her lead. And he didn't talk to her for a year and a half before he even talked to her and responded to her emails from Beachbody. And then now he's been a top coach. He's like one of her top coaches, and he's awesome. But for a year and a half, he didn't speak to her. He thought her emails were dumb. And he's been very blunt in saying how he was like, why is this chick messaging me from Beachbody? And now he is like one of her top coaches. And that's pretty much it. It's just a matter of getting and expanding out there. Some people are really good at in person and locally doing it, but they don't know how to get out more. And then some people are all about getting out more, but they're not local, or they're about just putting it on Facebook and messaging, but that's it. So find what works for you and really become a pro at that. But as far as expanding your market, in order to get out there more, you want to try different kind of areas. And something I really, really struggle with is in person. And that's something I have to get out of my own comfort zone with, and doing it more often. And that's why that's been one of my main things to work on this week. I have 2 appointments, if you want to call them, with people I know, but I had to kind of reach out to myself locally, and it really puts me out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing it. So I will unshare this now. If I can find okay. So that's it. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions, comments.
That was awesome. Thank you so much, Christiane, for that. Hopefully for most of us, that was a good reminder, but there were some things that I took notes on. And so I will share my notes here in just a little bit. But before we get on to my thoughts, I would like to open up for any questions or comments from the rest of the group. So anybody, just go ahead and unmute yourself and let's get the conversation started.
I don't really have a question, but I just wanted to say that we had the 4 Vital Behaviors training with Kim a few weeks ago, and it was awesome. So hope you guys have a great turnout, and that he was sick, and it was so good. So I know you guys will love that. And whether you're a brand new coach or been a coach for forever, you still just get so much out of it.
Awesome. Thanks.
I just have a comment. Nice job on the presentation, by the way. And it was so cool it was kind of neat that you told us ahead of time how you were trying to cut down your time. And because we knew that going in, I was able to pick up when you were trying to keep yourself on track. So do more of that, because you did really well blending it in like that. Just a couple of tips. When you do find yourself going ahead of yourself, like you went to that slide, the worst thing that your viewers want to hear is a continuation of more of the information that you already nicely presented on that previous slide. So look at the slide to see if there's anything, like your last bullet was something different to mention as far as don't join whatever it said down there. It was just that last bullet was something new to that slide. And that will keep you on track as well. Another suggestion is Beachbody now has new e-cards. So highlight that in your presentation for anyone who is listening to it and may not have gotten caught up on that. And then Facebook Live, I really feel you should have something in there about Facebook Live, because that's crazy popular right now.
Yeah. I did this presentation. I had this presentation for about like a month or 2 before Live came out. So I do have to update it.
Yeah.
But thank you.
But nice job.
Thanks.
Look at this. Look at us give presentation tips and feedback. I love it. That's what a good mastermind group does. And I totally agree with what she said. All right. Anybody else? Questions about this?
Can you guys hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I usually use my computer, not my phone, so I wasn't sure. But I had a comment on the leads, because my leads would never, until recently, probably I made a YouTube video, just a short one, introducing who I am, just to show them I'm a real person and what I can offer them. It was maybe just like a 2-minute video. And ever since I started implementing that, I get majority of my leads answering me back. So that might help you guys.
Nice.
Hey, Ashley, could you share that video with us?
Yeah, I'll send my whole email and my video too.
That would be awesome, because I had heard about that idea coming, from other coaches doing it and seeing great success. And I did put a video together, and I just think it was too much, you know what I mean? So just to kind of like maybe see one that has been successful would get my mind thinking more simpler, not so like, throwing up all over the videos, that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll send it to you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I totally 100% support the whole video thing and the Facebook Live thing. We here at corporate, we've been talking about how Facebook is changing their algorithms and how they're promoting Facebook Live. They're putting that on the top of everybody's feed now because that's what they want to do and they can do it. And so that's being promoted heavily. But to Ashley's point here, that is getting more videos are getting better traction is because they're getting to see you. They're getting to see your personality. They're getting to see how you act. Even though it's a delayed video, it may not be live. They're getting to see you, and they're getting to know your personality. And this is a business of relationships. And so video is definitely one of the best things that coaches are leading towards. Now, what happened in what used to work in the past, it still kind of works today with the picture, with this post or whatever. That's how things worked in the past. And like I said, it still works, but this video thing is what's taking over. And so if you haven't gotten used to that yet, get used to it. With Facebook Live, you can delete, if it was a horrible video, you can delete it. Or if you want to go to YouTube and then post that video, you can do that as well. It's just a great way to get yourself out there, expose yourself out there, and get the traction that you are looking for. So great comment, Ashley, on that.
Hey, Kevin, can I chime in for a second?
Please.
There's an exercise that I do with my team because I want them all to start using Facebook Live, but of course they're not going to do it because that's stepping outside your comfort zone, right? So we have a Facebook Live challenge document in our team page, and everyone has to sign up for a day in the month and just a window of time of when they're going to do their 1 minute or 2 minute presentation on something they're an expert about, just to get them into a safe group to start getting out there and doing it. And they're having fun with it. And because they're talking about things that they're an expert at, it's just all really about understanding how to manually do it, and then timing and the comments, and we're supporting each other. So we're going to just do that every month, looking for more people to do it. And that when they're ready and they feel comfortable, they go live, on their own pages.
I really, really like that idea because it is awkward. Even when Zoom started, it was awkward talking to your computer or whatever. And now you have to talk to your phone because Facebook's with your phone, and you're outside and you're doing things, people looking at you, and it is an awkward thing, but it does work. I'll give one other comment with this Facebook Live or any video. If you guys are going to start moving towards this, please keep the videos short. As people scroll through their Facebook feed, and you guys do it too. When you see a video, you always check to see the length at some point. And if it's short, they're more willing to stay on that. And so keep it short. Now, once you have their attention and they're in your group, you can expand those videos to a longer length because they're now attracted to you and they have that interest. But to pique their interest, please keep them short. Please do. That's just a small little tip. So any other tips, guys? Let's keep the conversation going.
Kevin, is there a length of time that they say are most viewed or that people watch to the end?
I wish I knew that answer. And please, if anybody has an opinion, I'd love to hear their opinion. We're telling people under 30 seconds.
Oh, wow.
Is what we're going at.
I think it has a lot to do with, too, your personality that comes out. Because if you're someone who changes your voice and, kind of shift, and you're good at showing your personality and energy, and you're really like, I'm just doing an extra right now just to, let you know that's how you do it, then people are engaged because they want to know what that next thing is. But keeping it short keeps them engaged as well. But yeah. And to Kevin's point, when he said how we learned how when you post something on Facebook, read it back yourself and see if you would actually read that post and respond to that post, right? That's like the basics on how to post. So you don't sound salesy, you don't steal scripts from somebody else, et cetera, et cetera. So when you're doing your video, maybe if this is your first time doing it, do a video that you can actually see back, like do a private one yourself and see if that engaged you. Did it excite you? Did you like raise your interest? And did you react the way you're hoping your viewers will react? And that will help you lose the lose the monotone voice. It'll bring you to that next level.
Yeah. And, this is an experimental thing, and that's why it's okay to go, like Julie said, to do this in a group and kind of see what works and what doesn't work. What viewers really like are unscripted kind of moment right there. I'm gonna go live. I'm at some baseball game, or I'm at the amusement park. I'm at the grocery store, and those type of things are what people attract. If you're just sitting at home with this blank wall behind you and you're kind of just talking like this and not really moving, okay, you might not get the same engagement, but you got to try it out. You got to try these new things. It's all about getting engagement, and to Christiane's point here of reaching out to your cold market. They got to see you. They need to see who you are. And if you want to attract certain people, then you got to put that vibe out there. I know this is stuff that's been said over and over. And then one other point, I feel like I'm talking too much here, but one other thing that I wrote down is I was listening to a guy talk once about how who he recruits to help with his business. And he said, you know what? All guys take everything back to sports analogies. And so he did it the same thing. He said, his favorite sport is basketball. He said, you know what, if I were to go out and find an all-star team where I could take to the Olympics, I promise you, it's not going to be my family members. They're not good at basketball. I would go out and I would scout out the best talent, and then I would get them on my team. And it's the same thing with network marketing. Sure, it's easy to go to our family and say, hey, can you help out? And sometimes they are some of the best, sometimes they're not. But in most cases, it's best to go out and find and tap into the cold market and find the people who are the best, who have the similar interests as you, who have that same drive. And you can build a relationship that way and get your all-star team that way. It's always like, hey, mom, dad, brother, sister, can you help me out? Okay, but let's not rely on them for be our top business builders. So Abby, you've been quiet. Teresa, a little bit.
I was going to say something a minute ago, that just speaking to the video thing, from the trainings that I've done, if somebody was looking for a time limit, under a minute for a video that's not live is the best retention. So if you did a workout video or something like that, under a minute is what's ideal. But if you are doing like a live video, what's recommended is to keep it under 5 minutes still. But 5 minutes is still like an acceptable time because it's different. Like you said, there's dialogue. You're like waiting for people to hop on. If you're interacting with the people as they're getting on, every time I get on, I say hi to people as they get on because it just makes people feel like you actually knew that they were watching. But, like Kevin said about people like kind of to feel like things aren't scripted, I always try to recommend to my coaches that you want to have a plan. Like you never want to hit go live without having a plan, but you want people to feel like there's not a plan. You want them to feel like this is just in the moment, but yet to have a message. And one of the best things I learned in making videos was actually from Trey from our region, that, the 3-point rule, like go in with 3 things you want to tell people and write those 3 things down so you don't forget them. And tell those people you're going to tell them 3 things, and tell them 3 things, and tell them what you told them, and be done. But, if you do that, then you have a plan and you're concise, but you can still like throw in your own flair with it. So that's what I usually do.
Love those points, Abby. Thanks for chiming in with that. And I'll say, I know we're kind of running low on time, and I'll add one thing to what Abby said is when you go live, don't wait for people to get on to start talking, because Facebook Live is recording you. And when the replay comes back and you're just sitting there waiting for people to start coming on, it's going to be boring. So start talking as soon as you start going live. And as people come on, awesome. Let them know that you love them, that you're there for them. But don't just sit there. If you're just waiting like, okay, it's 0, 0, and it comes back to recording, you're going to be looking like a buffoon. So Hey, so great job, guys. I love the conversation, Christiane. Love the PowerPoint. If you could put that, we would love to see that again. That's something we can definitely put out there.
Yeah, I'm going to make the additions.
And then Julie, you were going to put something on there. Ashley, you're going to put something on there. And guys, don't forget, hopefully you took something away from this meeting. Go back to our Facebook page, post what you're going to be trying this week. Next week, we're going to jump on the first few minutes. We're going to talk about what you tried and how it went, and let's make ourselves better. So have an awesome weekend. Then thank you for jumping on, and we'll see you guys next week.